Nurses who work rotating night shifts have significantly higher rates of breast cancer, cardiovascular disease, and metabolic syndrome. This is not coincidence. It is the consequence of fighting your circadian clock over years. Your body's internal timing system governs not just when you sleep, but the expression of thousands of genes, the release of dozens of hormones, and the function of nearly every organ. A circadian rhythm is an endogenous biological oscillation that repeats approximately every 24 hours. The word comes from the Latin circa diem, meaning approximately a day. These rhythms are not simply responses to the light-dark cycle. They persist in complete darkness, demonstrating that they are generated internally. Circadian rhythms govern not just the sleep-wake cycle, but the timing of cortisol release, body temperature fluctuation, immune activity, digestive function, and the expression of roughly 15% of all human genes. The master pacemaker for all circadian rhythms in the body is a tiny cluster of about 20,000 neurons in the hypothalamus called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or SCN. The SCN receives direct light input from the retina via a dedicated pathway and uses this information to synchronize the body's internal clock to the external light-dark cycle, a process called entrainment. When you travel across time zones, it is the SCN that must be reset, and the discomfort of jet lag is the price you pay while that resetting is underway. As darkness falls, the SCN signals the pineal gland to begin releasing melatonin into the bloodstream. Melatonin does not cause sleep directly. It is better understood as a darkness signal that tells the body it is nighttime and prepares the system for sleep. Core body temperature begins to fall, alertness decreases, and sleep pressure rises. Blue light from screens suppresses melatonin release by mimicking daylight, which is why screen use in the evening delays sleep onset and shifts circadian timing later. Insomnia is the most prevalent sleep disorder, affecting roughly 30% of adults to some degree. It is characterized by persistent difficulty initiating sleep, maintaining sleep, or achieving restorative sleep, despite adequate opportunity and circumstances for sleeping. Insomnia is classified as chronic when it occurs at least 3 nights per week for 3 months or more. The most effective treatment is not sleeping pills, which cause dependence and rebound insomnia, but cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, or CBTI, which restructures the thoughts and behaviors that perpetuate sleeplessness. Sleep apnea involves repeated episodes of breathing cessation during sleep, sometimes hundreds of times per night, each typically lasting 10 to 30 seconds. The most common form is obstructive sleep apnea, caused by collapse of the throat muscles during sleep. Each apnea event partially wakes the brain to restore breathing, so the person fragments their sleep without ever achieving the deep, restorative stages. The consequences include extreme daytime sleepiness, cardiovascular stress, and increased risk of hypertension and stroke. Continuous positive airway pressure therapy, CPAP, is the primary treatment. Narcolepsy is a neurological disorder in which the brain cannot properly regulate sleep-wake transitions, resulting in sudden, uncontrollable attacks of sleep that can strike during any activity, eating, driving, or having a conversation. About 70% of people with narcolepsy also experience cataplexy, sudden loss of muscle tone triggered by strong emotions like laughter or surprise. Narcolepsy is caused by the loss of neurons in the hypothalamus that produce orexin, also called hypocretin, a neurotransmitter that stabilizes wakefulness. Night terrors and nightmares are often confused, but are fundamentally different phenomena. Night terrors occur during slow-wave NREM sleep, typically in the first few hours after sleep onset. The person may scream, thrash, and appear terrified, but they are not dreaming, and they have no memory of the episode in the morning. Nightmares, by contrast, are vivid, disturbing dreams that occur during REM sleep and are typically well remembered upon waking. Both are classified as parasomnias, but they arise in completely different sleep stages. Sleep deprivation cascades through virtually every system in the body and brain. Cognitively, it impairs attention and vigilance first, followed by working memory, decision-making, and emotional regulation. Physiologically, it suppresses immune function, elevates cortisol, increases inflammatory markers, and disrupts glucose metabolism. What makes sleep deprivation particularly dangerous is that severely sleep-deprived people consistently underestimate how impaired they actually are. They lose the metacognitive awareness of their own deterioration. Research comparing sleep deprivation to alcohol intoxication has produced stark findings. After 17 hours without sleep, cognitive and psychomotor performance is equivalent to a blood alcohol level of 0.05%, above the legal driving limit in many countries. After 24 hours without sleep, performance matches a blood alcohol level of 0.1%, which is legally drunk in all 50 American states. Drowsy driving causes approximately as many fatal crashes per year as drunk driving. When people are deprived of sleep and then allowed to recover, they do not simply sleep longer. The architecture of their sleep changes. They enter REM sleep faster and spend a disproportionately large amount of recovery sleep in REM, a phenomenon called REM rebound. The same effect occurs when people are selectively deprived of just REM sleep while allowed normal slow-wave sleep. The brain's drive to recover REM sleep demonstrates that REM is not optional. It serves functions, including emotional memory consolidation, that cannot be permanently skipped. Sleep is not passive downtime. It is when your brain consolidates memories, your body repairs tissue, your immune system marshals its defenses, and your circadian system resets for the next day. Treating sleep as optional is like treating eating as optional. The circadian clock runs everything, and fighting it has real biological costs.